But what I know is I'm feeling just fine. My life is like a red carpet, and I'm feeling like the richest millionaire. This is my local mayor, and I'm the biggest star around here. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscriber die trying. You see the thumbnail. Aging gracefully with regrets. So for the younger people, men and women, but I use the woman in this thumbnail for a reason. Let me backtrack. I'm 43. I remember when the women were in their 20s when I was in college and up. And I remember the bad attitudes and arrogance. Or the bad mindsets. You know, because everybody thought they was going to be young forever. Just like some of us guys, you know, we were chasing, right? And what happened was all of our peers had a reality check because you got older. And not only did you get older, life let you know you got older in the sense of you don't get a pass for being silly, for being reckless, for being stupid, for being arrogant. You start paying the price for that. And when you start paying the price for that, nobody's going to bail you out because it's like, you too old for that now. And what happened was, the minority of us aged gracefully. The majority of us fell off. And then you're watching people become nicer people because basically they fell off. They're not as attractive as they once were to the opposite sex. And then you see people age gracefully. And some of those people were late bloomers in the sense of they got better with time. They were kind of the type of people that you thought were beneath you when you were younger because they didn't, quote unquote, have it together. And then they got older and they got it together. And some of you aged gracefully and you were jerks when you were younger. So what happened was this. You started having regrets. I'm going to tell you why. Because you started looking at the people that you had to, quote unquote, choose from or be friends with or your age group. And you started realizing you burned a lot of bridges. And for the people who were the late bloomers, even if you aged gracefully and you were a jerk younger, they remember those bridges you burned. So now you can't necessarily be around them, though you want to. And some of us have regrets because we made impulsive, young, dumb decisions. And now we're looking at the end of it. Because see, sometimes, not sometimes, but most times people when they're young, they're not looking with foresight. They're looking at who is the hottest thing right now. And they're not paying attention to who is going to be the hottest thing later. And what I mean by potential, it's one of those things where you see the person, when you were younger, you gravitated to people who had potential, who you knew didn't have a work ethic. And they were just swaggered out. You know, it was all about confidence and no effort. And the people who had effort and probably didn't lack confidence and swagger, it was like, oh yeah, they might be something, but they're just not fly enough. And 9 times out of 10, those are the people who wind up making it. You know, so you chose wrong when it came to potential. So you had this regret because now you're seeing over time, even you can age gracefully, you know, and you're watching your peers age gracefully, and they aged out of the fine people became
unfine. The unfly people became fly. You know, the broke people became well off. The most popular people became unpopular. And now you're sitting there, and what matters most in life is what? You know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. When you see people who are on the halfway part or the back end of life and they finishing strong and you struggling, then it becomes, I should have been with them. I should have chose them. I should have befriended them. I should have not been such a jerk to them. Because all the quote unquote good people end up being great people. And all the quote unquote, it people wind up becoming it people. you know. And when I say all, that's an encompassing term, but let's just say the majority. So you see people aging gracefully, but they have regrets because, you know, a lot of y'all don't know what it's like to look at somebody when you're younger, like, never that. And then 10, 20 years later, look at that person and go, I can't believe I overlooked that. Because some of these people look very similar to they did when they were younger. Some of these people were nice, good, attractive people when they were younger. It just, they wasn't the it person. And then you see them age and you're like, they've been looking like that for 20 years. What was I thinking? And you regret it. And people wind up angry and bitter and lonely because now you're stuck with you. And if you age gracefully and you were a jerk, you're just stuck with the people that fell off for the most part. And your inner jerk is still like, those people are beneath me now. So it's interesting, just to say a few things. But tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna take you.